to our exploits. Here we have the full gang together. We have Bondfire.
What's up?
Whackmed.
What's up?
And Jazz.
How's it going?
So yeah, this is the first time in a few weeks we've had all four of us together. I think all of us have pretty much missed one or two episodes. But anyways, first thing we're going to do, as always, is pimp out Strictly Business Gaming, our sponsor. You guys should go check them out on Twitter at SBSBusinessGaming. You can also check them out at strictlybusinessgaming.com. They have a 4v4 Black Ops 2 tournament coming up on July 14th, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. You guys should definitely try to get in on this. The top prize is $200, 250 experience points on strictlybusiness.com, and a first place trophy, and it is free to enter, I believe. So you guys should definitely go check them out, give them some love on Twitter. They've probably got some Twitter giveaways going on, because they usually do, and we want to thank them for helping us make this show possible. So, any of you guys want to throw out some topics we can start with?
If you had to live under the sea with SpongeBob SquarePants, what kind of animal would you be?
Oh, come on.
I think Chaz is going to be a Butterfree.
That's a Pokemon.
Arnold.
The chat is a safe
Let's
place.
go to our the chat is a safe place. Let's go to the real next topic. And hopefully Whackman doesn't spring one of his life questions, catch us off guard with the right hook.
I'd be
Internet security. Internet security is a big thing. Ubisoft got hacked last week. PlayStation Nation went down for like 2 weeks, somewhere about 2 years ago. Microsoft went down a few months ago. They were down for a couple of hours. They got hacked. Big companies announce every once in a while that their accounts have been broken into, but nothing seems to be missing, just that their user interface went down or something about their site was broken into by internet hackers. So it kind of comes to the question, what is illegal, what should be illegal, and what does the justice system need to do to keep up with people that are doing bad things and bullying each other online?
All right, I'll take the rant again. This is specifically addressed to DDoSers. Chat is a safe place, so I won't say anything. This is specifically addressed to DDoSers. So on the PTFO live show, which is hosted by Minnesota Birds, the Chaos Silencer, and those guys, they don't do it anymore, but it was basically a PKA type of show that they did, and they don't do it anymore, but they used to do it pretty, like, every week, I think. They were once doing this charity live stream, one of the shows they were live streaming, obviously, and they were, doing a charity thing. It was around Christmas time, and they were trying to raise money to use that money to give presents to kids who were in less fortunate situations, and they may not have many presents for Christmas. So basically I'll censor my language, some jerk decided that he wanted to DDoS this charity live stream over and over to get to the point where it really couldn't even happen. And I just want to say, if you have nothing better to do with your life other than to sit around and DDoS people and DDoS people who are trying to entertain others, like people who used to DDoS PKA all the time, you realize you basically force them to make the show offline. Now, I'd argue that the show's a little bit better offline than online, but I mean...
I'd argue with you.
Well, we won't get into that. But
I'll definitely argue with you on that.
If you have nothing better to do than to just sit around and DDoS, and you see it all the time, lots of big YouTubers who try to stream. You ever wonder why some big YouTubers don't stream? It's because a lot of the time when they stream, they just get hit offline, so they can't even pull off an actual stream. And it's just, you can have whatever beef you want to with people, but don't hurt everybody else and attack the entertainer and not allow them to give entertainment to people. And it's a sad life to live in your mom's basement and just use your little computer programs to screw everybody else over. So I think it should, any kind of hacking, to answer the question directly, any kind of hacking, whether you're stealing someone's email account, stealing someone's social networking accounts, messing with someone's YouTube account. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, but White Boy's YouTube, his Twitter, everything got hacked, and his personal information got released and stuff too. But any kind of hacking or anything or DDoSing, I think, should be illegal. I don't know what the punishment should be, but it should be illegal.
I feel like it should be a fine, not necessarily like jail time, but definitely a fine. For sure.
No, white collar crime is a crime. That's what it's referred to as. It's not.
It's not beating the crap out of somebody or murdering somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's
talking
going
about clerical things, and there are a lot of people that make a lot of money off of this. Like White Boy uses his Twitter to further his business. So what you've done is impeded his ability to do business in the way that he does it to make money. So you can't put a tangible asset value on what has been done to him, but now he is, he's down some people that used to follow him, and it's impeded his ability to make commerce. So yeah, there should be jail time associated with that, because the penalty should deter the involvement in that crime.
I don't want to hog all the airtime, but that whack man, that was a good point. It made me think of one other thing that I always used to say was that, people always say, YouTubers, it's not a real job or whatever, and people don't think about the fact, like, if I were Whackmed, you were a paramedic, correct? Specifically?
Correct.
Right. So if I were to go, and I know it's kind of different because your job is to save lives, but purely from a monetary standpoint of you making money by performing your job, if I were to drive to your, wherever you're based out of, wherever you get into the,
Slash your
wherever you
tires.
get, exactly, wherever you get in the ambulance to go do your job, and I were to slash your tires, then that I'm inhibiting you from doing your job and making money. Whereas when you DDoS someone off of a live stream, people don't consider and say, hey, they just lost however much money they could have made in ad revenue off this live stream. Like, people don't view
Right.
it the same way, which is unfortunate. But lots of people just don't understand what they're doing, and it's mostly kids that do this kind of stuff, which is probably why.
Well, there's big money in here I am hogging the airtime too, but there's big money in creating viruses and being able to. I mean, it's just another kind of what do you call it? Corporate espionage. If
Yeah.
you can, if you can attack your other people, or your what am I trying to say? The people you're in business against, it puts you at an
Competitors.
advantage.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll take this one. But today I was watching on Discovery Channel, like the top 100 and something, like 101 gadgets or whatever, and it was like 87. It was like the flash drive, and they talked about how there was like a virus on this flash drive, and some guy put it into, or like some spy or whatever, put it into the Iran's like computer that controlled their like nuclear program, and the virus shut down their nuclear program for like it stalled it back like a couple years.
Mm.
And so I just think like having that much power needs to be controlled to be like, because um this is kind of like the Call of Duty's main theme is like, you know nowadays
It's
we're
all about
like
technology.
everything's all about technology, right? So if somebody gets the key, which could be they could get it by a virus, and they can control pretty much a lot of powerful things.
Yeah. Well, cyber
So that,
warfare
I
is
mean,
definitely
yeah.
a new thing that lots of countries are
So
employing.
yeah. So it should. I believe it should be illegal. I just think it should be to an extent, like depending on the form of
Depends who it is
severity.
and how much
Should
you hurt them,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
I feel like you should be fined, depending on the severity of the. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not. We shouldn't just throw. Say if I was DDoSing WalkMed right now, which I'm not.
Right.
Um, what if I was? I honestly don't deserve you know, a
You're
10
trying to
day
say I'm not
sentence.
worth much? Is that what you're saying?
Basically,
My
WalkMed.
ability to live stream, my ability to connect isn't worth as much as somebody else's?
Um,
I got you. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
okay,
think
it's
that's
okay.
what he's saying.
Yeah, that's
It,
what he
it
Hey,
the
the
said.
truth
chat's a safe
hurts.
place. Not
I'm
really,
hold on. I'm gonna have to go cry for a minute. Stand by.
If any of us get DDoSed, nobody's gonna really care probably.
yeah.
If any of us four get DDoSed.
But that's what I'm
That,
saying. Like, if any of us four get DDoS, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, of course, there should
I
be like,
disagree.
I
I
believe.
get pissed off when this call gets dropped. I
I know,
I disagree completely, because my rights are just as big as anybody else's rights.
but I think it's to an extent that
It's like
if you're
here's what you're
stealing like
saying.
personal
It's
information and stuff, then that's when you get jail time. Like you're stealing bank accounts and all that different kinds of
Here's
stuff.
what you're saying. If I DDoS White Boy 7th Street, or if I hack White Boy 7th Street YouTube account and delete all of his videos, that basically that's hurting him in a massive way monetarily. If I DDoS one of us four, then monetarily it's basically non-existent. It's not an effect. That's basically
Right.
so it
Well,
depends. It's situation to situation.
Yeah,
Situation.
that's for a judge. That would be for a judge to decide. Um, You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
Yeah,
the
the difference would be
American.
like in petty theft and grand larceny. For
Yeah.
me, it would be that you're stealing how much money I'm spending to play multiplayer Call of Duty, whereas for a white boy, you'd be, getting in the way of his $300,000 mortgage that he's paying for off of YouTube.
YouTube money.
For me,
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna jump in this conversation.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be here, guys. For me, I agree with Wackman that it should be punishable by jail time. I think it's wrong, and I agree with all the points that you guys have said. What I just don't get why people do this. And I was gonna kind of bring up that Oyster, you said a lot of kids are doing this, younger people are doing this, and I don't think they understand the consequences of some of the things that they are
Exactly.
doing. And if you make it punishable by jail time, and then some of them serve that, maybe you know, uh, makes someone go to jail, kind of, potentially like that one kid that we talked about last week with his comment. If you make, a statement with one person, maybe other people will get it in a lesson a little bit. I don't know, but I think it should be
That's
punishable
yeah.
by jail.
It's a 17-year-old. Okay, I'm not. Most people, me and Jazz's age, are kind of idiots. So 16 or 17-year-old, gets access to some, crap level booting program and says, "Hey, I'm gonna troll Woody's gamer tag and I'm gonna hit him offline." And then he hits him offline. He's like, "Yeah, I just hit him offline. Yeah, that's it." And then he goes on with his day. He doesn't consider that he has to get his internet back up and running, and he may have just, maybe he was 99% complete on a 2-hour video upload, and that just ended. Like, I would punch a hole in the wall if that happened to me. But, they don't consider young people in general
Are stupid.
don't consider all of the possible consequences, like you said, Bonfire, that can happen from their actions, especially when it's online and you can't really see what the aftermath is. Like, if I
Yeah,
walk up to someone
exactly.
and punch them in the face in the middle of the street, like, I know what's about to happen to me. But
It's
if I
about to
DDoS
go down.
someone, then whatever happens on their end, it's not visible to me, which I think is one reason that it's not really as, you know, people don't really realize it as much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So say you get arrested for DDoSing or whatever. Say you get arrested for whatever crime, and you're gonna get sentenced to death. What's your last meal?
What?
What's your last meal?
There's that life topic.
Um,
Wow.
my last meal would be lasagna. I love stuff, dude. I chowed.
Any particular brand or like Mama's or
Like, or no, my mom's macaroni and cheese with some lasagna.
I would make a platter of all of my favorite fast food restaurants because obviously my health is irrelevant at that point. So I'm grabbing like 6 KFC chicken tenders. I'm grabbing a Zaxby's chicken sandwich. I'm taking some McDonald's French fries and sweet tea. I'm taking some Chick-fil-A nuggets. I'm just getting like 7 or 8 fast food restaurants and getting bits and pieces from all that and shoving it in my face and then shoving the needle in my arm. That's what I'm doing.
um,
shoving that in your face is equivalent to shoving your needle in your arm.
Basically, that's the point, though. It's like don't when you guys answer this question, don't limit
Yeah.
yourself and say, "Oh, I'll just have a typical, 3-course meal. I'll
oh,
have, whatever," because it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't. The consequences are irrelevant. So you have to think of that when you're thinking of this.
but
That's a tough question. Go
oyster,
ahead, Jazz.
yeah, but oyster, what you just said brought up. Did you guys hear about that guy from The Sopranos that
The main guy who died.
yeah, like he died, but it was like from like too much greasy food or something.
It's a
I
threat that
just
faces
Lived
all
in
of
the South.
us.
He was
yeah,
Italian.
yeah, I don't know. He's in like some foreign country and he eats
It was
like
in
too
Italy.
much. Yeah, and he just died. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought about that. 'Cause
That's a good point. That's why we don't have to worry about that here because we're gonna die anyway. So we can eat all the fried chicken we want.
No,
Let's
I
hear
don't
it.
know.
specifically
Wagman said,
after you eat a really greasy meal, there's an increase in certain stuff in your blood that actually makes it a little bit thicker. So there are a lot of people that have heart attacks and stuff that we go to right after they have had quite a large meal, which makes controlling their airway a very difficult task sometimes. But yeah, whenever you're diluting,
tips
or
with what,
not
Mad?
diluting, but whenever you're getting the blood thicker and thicker with all this greasy, terrible stuff, it can definitely play a role immediately and in the long term, what it does to your arteries.
Last meal, Whackman and Bonfire. Let's hear it.
For me,
Mama's biscuits with cheese on top.
Oh yeah, KFC
biscuits
biscuits
with
too.
cheese. All right.
No, Mama's
Bojangles.
biscuits. KFC
Oh
ain't got
yeah.
nothing on Mama.
Well, I don't know your mom.
Bojangles ain't
So
even in the same category. You can just
I could I could throw out a wicked Yo Mama joke right now from Wasteland Adventures, but I won't. I'll just say that I haven't had your mama's biscuits, so I'll go with KFC.
And that was a sweet roll, and that guy tried to take my sweet roll.
Exactly, but you wasn't having it.
Check it out. It's a series on my channel.
Like and sub. Anyways, last
For me-
meal, Bonfire.
I would have to say it would be pizza from some local place around here. I love pizza so much, and have to have some ice cream with it. Probably some vanilla bean. Love that stuff. And I would probably have to have a nice tall beer, like a red ale. I am over 21. I am eligible to drink, so.
Well, I mean, if I was 21, I'd be drinking.
Oh God!
I don't think
Stop
they actually
now.
talk
I didn't
about-
mean to
Stop
open
now.
the
We have
floodgates.
sponsors. We have sponsors.
I mean, let's just put it this way.
You wouldn't be drinking.
I wouldn't feel
CT.
a thing when I went to sit in the electric chair or stick the needle in my arm. I would be.
That's actually a good point. If you could, if they were
I'd be
willing
happy,
to serve
dude.
you alcohol, it would be smart to try to get as drunk as possible so that you wouldn't really realize what was happening.
That's yeah.
It's like I heard a rumor that, and I doubt this is true. Okay, well, as a matter of fact, I know it's not true. I'm not even going to consider any realm of possibility that it is true, but it's more of a joke, I guess. Somebody said, "Hey, I bet if you're flying in an airplane, they always talk about the oxygen masks that drop down, and like if you're about to crash, like put the oxygen mask on. It'll help you breathe or whatever, so you don't hyperventilate. They drop down from the ceiling." And somebody's like, "I bet that they just pump a bunch of laughing gas through there so that everybody's high when the plane crashes, and they don't get all stressed out."
It's a great idea.
I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, getting oxygen flow is not going to help you as you're hurtling towards the ground, so why not just make it so that nobody really knows what's happening?
Little
Well,
nitrous
isn't it like-
oxide bath.
Isn't it like when it gets to like a high altitude too that like it drops down at the same time?
It depends. Like, it's like if the cabin like loses the pressure as
It's a cabin pressure thing.
like if somebody blows a hole in the wall and all the air starts getting sucked out. Like,
If we go A-team on this thing and drive a tank out the back of the.
it happened in
Play
World War
devil's
Z.
Delta Force, we're landing this puppy.
It happened in
Totally.
World War Z. A bunch of zombies. Have you guys seen World War Z yet?
Yes,
No,
great.
don't spoil it.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's awesome. But
Yeah,
somebody was infected on the plane, so that they were escaping, like they're escaping Israel on it or something, and so a bunch of zombies basically sprung up on the plane, and he basically threw a grenade and blew a hole in the side of the plane, and they all flew out. So that's what happens when that happens. That's why you gotta have the masks so that you can not like get,
You
know,
can't get infected by
breathe.
zombies.
So that yeah, I guess.
So, Jazz, was the electric chair your preferred method, or is that just what?
If I'm
your
drunk,
state
it really
uses?
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's say you are mentally there. What is your option?
I'd probably want an injection because it would be less painful, I
Just go to
guess.
sleep.
Yeah. That's all I want to go. Or Yeah, I wanna
Tactical
go.
Oyster's we're just gonna put tape over his mouth and watch his head explode.
Oh, come on. I want to go. I just want to have like all the greasy food so that like my arteries just get clogged. I guess that's what apparently that's what
lock you.
Whackman thinks is gonna happen. Then I'm just gonna like somehow just die from all the grease clogging my arteries after eating like a bunch of KFC and Zaxby's right before I die.
Well, certainly CPR is not going to work after you've had that. So
How are you
I
going?
just want to point out one thing that 3-bar exploits and Strictly Business Gaming does not condone underage drinking.
Absolutely, and we also don't condone the idea of death. So that's there too, even though we're talking about it.
But if you're gonna go Bonfire, how do you want to go?
Wait,
what?
before he answers, are we talking in general or if we're getting
Sentence to death.
executed?
No, sentence
All
to
right, all
death,
right.
executed.
Oh,
See,
like
in
what kind of
general,
death do I
that's
want?
easy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get executed,
They give you any method of near instantaneous or instantaneous death.
Probably lethal injection. I'm not that afraid of needles. Just let me go quietly.
Got a podcast with a bunch of girls.
see, I want to
What?
get
No, I've
trapped
got
in
How
a
about this?
room.
How
I've got a
about
good
you
one.
lay me over a log and behead me with a giant axe? How's that?
Whackman, I've got a good one. Don't worry. I want to be brought out on national television, and I want to be like put up against a
What?
post, and I want to be like publicly executed by being shot on national television. Because then everybody's gonna get in a riot because Tactical Oyster died, and they're gonna be rioting against the government and stuff all over my death because it was broadcast on
That
national
important.
TV. Exactly. So I want to be publicly executed on CNN, or actually
Not
Fox
gonna
News,
happen.
because Fox News is fair and balanced.
I missed the method though. How are they going to do it?
Oh, Whackman got DDoS. I want to be dragged out and publicly shot in the forehead on national television because then
Very
people
nice.
will riot over my death, and that would be cool.
See, I want to
Very
be
nice.
locked in an all-white room, so I just go crazy.
Why?
That's the way to go,
No,
man.
that's torture, man. That's how to waterboard me first. I don't know.
What? Okay, no. I'm gonna go MythBusters here. Um, I want to be strapped down to a bed, and then I want to like have a bamboo plant grown underneath me so that the bamboo grows through my body, and then they let panda bears eat me.
What?
They
Disgusting,
tested
dude. That's
they tested
terrible.
that. They tested that on MythBusters. That was like a real thing.
What?
But they,
How?
yeah.
How do you
I-
test something
yeah,
that takes years?
But, well, so they basically, well, it was over a period of time, of course, but like what they did was, like they strapped Buster or like a gelatin dummy or whatever, you know, the stuff they use, and
Yeah.
they put it on like, this thing, I guess, and it had a bar underneath its head and then a bar underneath his feet, like underneath his butt, and so then they put a bamboo plant underneath it, and the bamboo plant grew through it. And that's like a form of torture or something. And
That's disgusting.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Yeah, well, what is
that's
wrong?
crazy.
What is wrong here?
What's
So
wrong with
much.
being shot in the
Next
head, dude? Just
topic.
get shot in the head. That sounded like a pretty viable option.
Yeah, on
And that's
national
fine,
TV.
but that's better than bamboo growing through you and panda bears eating your face.
We're not going for the most torturous ways to die.
That's how a man goes, man. Some.
No,
That's how a man
not.
goes. Oh my god.
That's how a traitor to a country goes.
That's how a
That's how
traitor to any Far Eastern country with lack of stable government goes.
Yeah.
Basically. That's
A traitor to
creative, though. I'm
Djibouti.
not gonna lie.
No. I want a guillotine.
Guillotine.
I want a guillotine. For a minute, it's kind of hard to breathe, and there's this guy that straps you into the neck brace and everything, and then all of a sudden it's just lights out. I'm good with that. I
Okay.
think that'd be okay.
Next topic.
We need a new
Like,
topic.
you don't
Yeah,
have to-
let's get off
Let's
this.
move on. We're moving
The
on.
guy misses with his bullet. You don't have to hope that somebody paid the electric bill, and you don't have to hope that the drugs are not expired. It's just lights out.
If they're
But-
not expired, at least I got a good buzz, right?
No, it doesn't. That means you suffocate with your eyes. They don't work that way, hero.
All right. Well, what's next, guys?
First of all, before we switch, how did we get from DDoSers to how do we want to die?
Walk bed.
Leave it to Whackmed.
Awesome, spontaneous
That's what he
conversation.
does,
We're
man.
still-
That's what he
Tell us
does.
down below that this was the best conversation in the entire chat.
So it went from death sentence for DDoSers to WalkMed.
What was your last meal got us to here?
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We have. I'm gonna throw A, B, or C. We have YouTube gaming community. We have actually really just A and B because two of them are kind of similar. We have YouTube gaming community, or we have the Microsoft head dude Don Matrick going to Zynga and free to play games. Somebody go.
Free to play games. Let's go.
All right. Farmville sucks.
Never
RuneScape's
played it.
pretty good.
Never will.
I didn't know RuneScape was free.
It is free, but you can pay for a membership to like get extra stuff and extra abilities and
Well,
whatnot.
here, explain the free-to-play model.
It's free to play.
There you go.
Download-
There's
you
a
download the
model.
game.
How do they make money?
They add all this extra stuff in there that you can buy, and it basically helps you beat the game faster, or makes you stronger in game,
For
or makes you better in game, or makes your friends jealous on Facebook when it really
Or you
doesn't.
can't beat it because you have to
Yeah,
pay to beat it.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
future or for background information, basically Don Matrick, who you guys may know, is the guy who talked like this when he was doing the Xbox One presentation. So he's basically the head dude at Microsoft who did all the Xbox One reveal presentations, and I
He's
just
actually
hate.
head of their he's head of Xbox basically.
Yeah, and I despised his voice and the way he talked. It just sounded, I don't even know. But anyways, so he's basically the main presenter you guys may know at the Xbox One reveal. And he talked a lot at E3 and stuff. But he basically left Microsoft to go to Zynga, who make like Facebook games and stuff mainly. And are they the actual people who make Farmville? I know we use Farmville as an example. I think they're the ones who actually make Farmville. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, so we kind of wanted to talk about that move and did it make sense, and then about free games in general. And I think the biggest thing with free games is it a game like Team Fortress 2, which is free to play, and you don't really gain a huge advantage by buying stuff, or not. At least not when I've played it. It doesn't seem like you get a huge advantage by buying stuff. And the stuff you pay for is like aesthetic stuff, like add-ons, like paying for camos, kind of in Black Ops 2. Or is it a game like RuneScape where it's nearly impossible to complete your tasks without paying for stuff? And like Farmville, where you freaking have to spam your friends, Facebook pages and buy a bunch of stuff to get enough sheep to advance to the next level or whatever. So somebody else can take it from there.
Um, yeah. I don't know. I was
Well,
really zoning out.
Oh, come
for
on.
me on the free to play model, well, first off, Microsoft and that dude leaving to go to Zynga. And yes, Zynga does make Farmville. I can confirm that.
All right.
Um, I find it kind of funny because he came out saying the Xbox One's the greatest console ever. He didn't say it particularly, but they said we have DRM. We don't condone used games. If you want to play offline, play on the Xbox 360. All of this crap, and they did a terrible job with all of that. But they said it with such confidence, and then they did the Xbox 180, which we talked about last week, and then he leaves. I think that's kind of a coincidence, maybe.
He's like, to make a sports analogy, he's like the college football coach who performs a bunch of recruiting violations and stuff, and he knows that the probation is in the smackdown is coming from the NCAA, and right before it comes, he leaves and goes to the NFL. It's
Are you talking
basically.
about Chip Kelly?
Well, I mean, yeah, he did it. Pete Carroll
Yeah.
did it. There's tons of people have done it.
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. He set the
You're
fire
right.
and then he left. But I also think that it's important to keep in mind that, look at like David Vonderhaar. Does David Vonderhaar have input on what goes on in Black Ops 2 multiplayer and the buffing and nerfing and the decisions that get made? Yes, he does. But he's solely responsible for the entire game? No. So, is Don Matrick making decisions involving the Xbox One and what its policies are? Yes, but is the buck stop with him and is he doing everything? Probably not. So,
True, but you could also argue that he is the face of Xbox, as
which
we've
is why
seen
he gets
through.
the hate.
Exactly, we've seen through all the memes and all that, the internet stuff. But
Now he's the face of Zynga.
yeah, and what I was thinking about this, I almost did a commentary on it, is that he left Xbox because they did the Xbox 180, and now he wants to go be CEO at Zynga. Maybe it was a better opportunity, maybe it paid more, maybe, but it could be also that at Zynga there is no used games. It's all downloading. It's all typically free to play, or you're downloading it on your smartphone or tablet, playing it for 5 minutes here and there. It's not real games. Different conversation altogether. But it could just be a better fit for him because he can incorporate all those policies that he tried to do on the Xbox. Yeah.
I think those policies are already there. That's what you touched on. I think you're correct in that. I think that he had to leave. I'm not seeing any other way about it. If my employer was that unhappy with me, if I made that many customers mad, I'd be looking for a new
But
job.
that's the thing. Was it him? Like we don't really know how much head of Xbox, whatever. For all we know, some higher up at Microsoft, some suit up at Microsoft who doesn't know anything about gaming said we need to make more money. from people who are buying games used for less prices, and we need to stop piracy. You go do it, or else you're fired. And
I
this is
just
the
got
only
kicked
way
out
he could
again.
do it. That's and Whackman, we're still here. We can hear you. So
True,
that's
but well,
maybe it's not him.
True, but you have to see that in a business, since he is the head of Xbox, he's going to take full responsibility of what goes down. So
Right. Well, that's the catch-22 you're in.
exactly, yeah. And for one thing, I just want to say this is that I'm not bashing on the Xbox One at all. I think it's going to be a great console. I know it will do well. But what scares me a little bit is just the instability with Microsoft's management in the Xbox department. I mean, I just feel like you had that one guy even before the Xbox One was announced who was talking about on Twitter. He did some rant with someone about used games and DRM. What happened to him? He got canned.
Right.
So the instability and just the way they're handling business right now, it really bothers me a little bit.
See, no, I don't
consumer.
see it as an instability, and I'm only cutting in because I know I'll probably get kicked out of the chat. But and I don't see it as instability as much as it is that they have a bunch of loudmouths who don't know how to use any tact. They can't speak correctly. They don't know how to talk to the public, and they stand up in front of somebody with a microphone and say something stupid.
Yeah, and that could be, and I hope that's the case, instead of instability.
And what they do is they represent the company poorly. Yes, these are the things that we want to implement as a company. However, we want to say them in a nicer or a more professional way than shut up and pay for it. That's not how you get things done.
And that's a great point.
That's
Absolutely.
true. I just get aggravated by the way he always ended his sentence talking like this. Every sentence started up high in the voice pitch, and then it came down low, and he ended it emphatically. That just really rubbed me the wrong way and made me not like him, and I'm glad he went to Zynga, which is the only company in the world, in the gaming industry, that could be considered to be worse than EA. So, there you go.
Yeah, Zynga and the whole mobile gaming thing, I'm just so tired of hearing about it, to be honest with you guys. That's a different conversation altogether.
Whackman's just making plays in the chat.
For real.
We want to talk
Safe place anymore.
We want to talk about free games some more.
Yeah. So here's the problem I have with free games is that when you have a free to play model, you have to pay to win, and this is something I run into a lot as a parent. Is that every time I turn around, my kids want to buy something in one of these games, and it's like, this game's going to be more expensive than if I'd have bought a AAA title if I buy all the coins in Smurfville or whatever.
Or Smurfville.
I don't know what the game is. I don't play it. My kids love it.
That's a good point. I mean, and that's why the model is so successful, because they do it. Yeah, that's how they do it, and I dislike it because for me, like, I'd rather pay a flat fee up front, whether it be $60 or $40, whatever, just to get the majority of the content, excluding DLC. Again, a different conversation, but just to get the game, to play it, to have fun, not have to pay these microtransactions.
Yeah.
So the other thing that you have in a free-to-play game that's annoying is I got a game called Rope and Fly, I think it's called Rope and Fly Dusk Till Dawn. Really cool game on my phone. When I had a smaller phone, I have the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, which is huge, biggest phone. Before I had that, it was very difficult to play because the ads that were ran in that game get all in the way. You almost can't play the game.
I've had that happen
tapping on an
before
ad.
with certain games.
Yeah.
I've had Angry Birds lag out so hard you couldn't hardly play it because the ads, I guess those are GIFs on the ads that are trying to run while I'm trying to fly my little Angry Bird.
I'd rather have a game that had ads than made me pay to win. But like I said, and Whackman may have been lagged out when this happened, I don't know, but I mentioned Team Fortress 2. You can compete well in a game like Team Fortress 2 without buying stuff. Like, the most of the you can buy weapons and stuff, but I mean, it's not giving you a huge advantage over other players. Most of the things you purchase in that game are more like, buying a camo in Black Ops 2. It's aesthetic things, personalization type stuff. So some games do it without making it pay to play, but they're very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. But I'm actually gonna talk about a game called Happy Wars. If you've ever played that.
I've heard of that. I haven't played it, but I've heard of it
on Xbox, and Honestly, that game is so much fun. It's like 16 on 16, and all you do is run around, and it's similar. I want to say it's kind of like Team Fortress 2 because it's like funny things and all that, but you like run around smacking people with a stick with a kitty paw on the end or something random like that. And that game's free to play on Xbox. But like like you said, there's constantly ads running on the sides, and then you pay for like more coins, and then you use the coins to buy new weapons, and it's similar to all that other stuff, but yeah.
Let's talk about what Whackman just put in the chat, since the chat is not a safe place apparently. Bring it out, Whackman.
I didn't mean to keep the topic here specifically, but what if Call of Duty had, or Battlefield? I'm sorry, I don't know enough about it. I know Bonfire can help me fill in the gaps. What if Call of Duty had pay for guns? You got a straight loadout whenever you bought the game. Maybe you got um the MTAR and the AN-94, not the AN-94, the other one up there.
We'll get
Top,
like one
first
gun
fire.
from each class, maybe. Like
Maybe one gun from each class, or two in the assault rifle category. But the starting guns are usually pretty strong. The MP7's a starting gun; it's a strong gun, and more so than the Scorpion in some situations. The MTAR's a strong gun, maybe not so much as the AN-94 or the Scar.
it's solid.
The LSAT is by far the best LMG in my opinion.
MK48.
And you just get and you get what's the last sniper you unlock? The
first one you get is the SVU, and then you get
not
the
that one.
DSR,
And
then
then
the
the last
ballista, then the XPR.
The XPR. Give them the XPR. Just a basic loadout where you get like 5 guns when you buy the game, and you got to pay for all the other ones. The thing is, you're going to get really crap guns. Like the Vector has a very small, specific place to be used.
Did you just call the Vector
pay for that
crap?
one. I'm saying it's
Vector's
got a
good,
small
man.
place to be used. You can't use it on every map. You can't use it as broadly as you can
I
use the
disagree.
MP7, but it has its
Yeah.
places.
I'll disagree with that.
But anyway, okay, I'm going to tell you why on so many levels that you were wrong. Not attacking you personally, but I'm just going to say, okay.
I'm good with it. Come on. Bring it.
Okay. As
We're
someone
good.
who...
Take off his headset.
Wagner will take off his headset and just go on a rant. As someone who now has every single primary in Black Ops 2 Diamond, which solidifies no life status, I will say that...
Prestige.
Yeah, I'll say that I can't pick an SMG anymore that I want to use. Like, and when I say that, I mean that when I look at the list of SMGs, I'm like, which SMG do I want to put on for my class for the next couple games? It's like, I'm bored of all of them. I'm tired of using all of them. I don't want to... I've used all of them so much. Like, my top 5 of my top 6 guns as far as total kills are SMGs. Like, I've just used the crap out of them, and I don't want to put any of them on anymore just because I need something new, something fresh. I cannot imagine being limited to like 10 guns in total and having to buy, whenever I got bored of a gun, having to buy another one and buy another one and buy another one. Also, the fact that some guns are better than others. Making everybody have to buy. I mean, let's be honest. If let's look at Modern Warfare 3, because I think Black Ops 2 is relatively balanced. I think the AN-94 is a little OP, FAL is a little OP if it's in the right hands. But let's look at Modern Warfare 3 as a better example. The MP7 and the ACR, by far 2 best guns in the game. You can ask anybody, just overall.
Fail.
Imagine.
PP90.
Well,
PP90M1.
most people use the MP7 though. I'm just saying.
I use the PP90.
Okay, continue.
MP7
Anyway.
and ACR. If they're the two best,
Go ahead.
if they're the 2 best guns, and you don't get those as the starter guns, the moment somebody buys the ACR and just beats the crap out of you with it, you have to buy the ACR to be competitive. That's what you have to do. So I don't know. It depends how much
Unless
the price would be.
Unless ACR is what you get on your
That's what I'm
preliminary
saying, but
loadout.
it's just, I don't know. I couldn't see it working. Plus
Yeah.
limiting the creativity. One of the few things, well, not one of the few things, but one of the main things that COD has over games like Battlefield and Halo is that you can be whatever you want to be in Call of Duty. You have so many guns, so many perks, so many attachments, so many equipments to choose from, and now with the pick 10, you can even mix and match even more. I think taking away the creativity would really, and making people buy it, would really hurt the game.
I disagree with that statement just a little bit. The only thing I think Call of Duty has as far as creativity over Battlefield is the pick 10 system, because you can be really creative with it, and I really like that. But I think what you were trying to get to is that if you have to pay for guns, it's going to create such a strong imbalance in that game.
It's not going to be fun.
I just think it would just ruin it. Now, I will say that Battlefield Bad Company 2, they did offer to where you could pay for a certain kit. So, like, say it's a sniper rifle kit, and you get all the sniper rifles without having to work for them and level up for them. They did do that, and I disagree with that. I think that's stupid. Again, it's creating a slight imbalance within the game. It's taking away incentive to play the game and work for it. So, I mean, I don't think it would work overall.
Yeah, but I think that we've all just made the point as to why it would work, and that is, you say, well, you said the best two guns in Modern Warfare 3 were the ACR and the what are the other one, the MP7? Yeah, but Jazz and I both rattled off, like 3 or 4 guns immediately that we thought were better, and I think that the reason that you can come up with immediately saying these guns are better is the same reason that it would work to sell them.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a counter, though. I'll let you finish, but I've got a counter.
As soon as you get hosed 3 times in a row by a kid running around with a Vector, you've got to buy the Vector just to see why he's beating you so badly. It can be the connection that actually sells you the gun.
But think about it this way. You can argue, first of all, you only brought up one gun, which is the PP90. Let's just throw the PP90 in there for argument's sake. We've now got 3 dominant guns in the game, right? The ACR, the MP7, the PP90.
No, it's the P90 and the PP90M1, or PP901, which is my favorite, and then you got the AK-47, which is like a 2-shot kill at almost range.
Okay, keep going. I'll flip this around. You're wasting your breath. I'll flip this around.
MSR, okay. L11.
As much as I want to say certain guns are good and certain guns are not, let's flip it the other way. In Black Ops 2, you can say whatever you want. The Chi-Com is not as good as the MP7 or the MSMC. All right, no matter what. All right. So what you're basically doing is, let's say that there's 2 guns per class that are at the top of the class by far. All right. So as soon as people figure out what the 2 or 3 guns are at the top, your average Call of Duty player who's not overly into the game is going to buy those guns, and then they're not going to buy anything else because they don't want to spend the money to buy guns that aren't as good. So you can argue, like, even if it's not just 1 gun or 2 guns that are overpowered, if there are certain guns that are clearly not up to the level of the other ones, then people are going to not buy, like, nobody's going to buy, if you buy the Vector and you buy the MP7 and the MSMC, and you have to pay another $2 to get the Chi-Com, who's going to want to do that? Like,
I'll tell you who's going to want to do that. When this game first came, when Black Ops 2 first came out, what was the best gun in the entire game by far, hands down?
PDW,
and nobody needed to use anything but the PDW. How does it rank now on your system, on your personal scale of submachine guns?
Probably like to me it's like the worst. Probably I can't handle the recoil.
Right. Because in-game balancing, like they have control over at this point, is going to change which ones you're going to need to buy. So I think the fact that this discussion has made it this far is a viable reason to expect to see this in the future.
I'll flip it around again.
Well, hold on. Can I throw my opinion in this?
Okay, go ahead.
This is why I like what they did with the first map pack. They gave us a gun, the Peacekeeper. Okay, it's not overpowered. Okay, it's not the best gun in the game, but you can still be competitive with it. It's good at a certain, you know what I'm saying? It's good in its situation.
It has its role, yeah.
Well, one thing I was gonna say is Whackman, I kind of see where you're going with that, and yes, this model would work and it would sell a lot. Look at the camos. I mean, you see tons of people having all these camos, $2 a pop. So many people have bought all of them. They've made quite a bit of money off of that. And yes, they will make money if they do. You have to buy the guns. I think they'll make a lot of money of it. I think the point that I want to stick to is that I think it would ruin the game experience to the sense that it would be very hard to be competitive if you didn't want to pay money. And having to pay money, let's say you pay $60 for the game, and then you have to pay.
That's the free-to-play model.
So you're saying this is a free-to-play? I didn't know.
You're saying, well, are we talking about paying your $60 and then incorporating this, or are we talking about making Black Ops $20 and incorporating this? Like, are we talking about a free-to-play
Yeah, see,
Call of
because I
Duty?
didn't know you were saying that Call of Duty would go free to play.
I was just trying to say that we moved on from the free to play model, but the free to play model is that you start with something basic and then you build your way up. I was just wondering what it would be like if Call of Duty did something similar. So it's kind of
Okay.
a hybrid or a pseudo. I don't know, but what we're talking about specifically in this is pay to win, which is a branch off model of free to play.
Got you. Okay, now that we kind of laid that out, I still don't think it would work because you look at $60 a pop for the game right now, and then you have all the microtransactions with the camos and the DLC map packs. I think they would lose more revenue going free to play, just having like one solid game, adding maps every say quarter, so every 3 months, and then having to buy guns, bringing it out. I think they make more money now at $60 a pop with the DLC map packs, the
20,
camos. I think it's a better
$15.
business model now, and they're still able to create a quasi balanced game.
Well, the problem is if you look at someone who doesn't play the game very often, like someone like let's take my father for instance. My dad plays Call of Duty on occasion. He pops the disc in like twice a month. All right, so he's not playing very often. He's a very casual player. He's not going to pay money for guns. He's somebody like him is probably going to have those starter kits throughout the entire life cycle of the game. So you're still
Good point.
limiting casual players even more because they're probably not going to want to spend any money on it. And back to what Whackman was saying about having the ability or balancing the guns to make it so that you would buy different ones, and having gun rebalancing so that certain guns weren't better than others and you would just not buy certain ones. Um, it's do you not see like that could be you're basically what you're allowing the game developer to do there is completely manipulate the game to make money because what they can do is they can look and say, okay,
I think you're going to see it in the future.
our least bought gun in the game is the Chicom. Let's buff the Chicom to make it the best gun in the game by far. And they'll just keep doing that over and over and making new overpowered guns until everybody's bought all of them. Like that's complete manipulation. I think it's kind of unethical to change your game to make as much money as you can. But
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think if let's say they did do this model and they just had straight up Call of Duty Online as a free to play, and then you have to do all these microtransactions. They release maps every quarter and stuff. I think it would have. I don't think it would have the longevity that the franchise has now. And yeah, it might
right.
work in the beginning because it's fresh, just like all the yearly Call of Duties that we get, the annual releases. But I think once you get into year two, because we wouldn't see any more new Call of Duties, arguably, then I think you would start to see a decline in interest, and then that's when they start manipulating guns to try to generate more sales, and I just think it declines after that first year,
I
given the
agree.
cycle that we've been provided.
Yep.
Anybody
So
else? Anything to add?
I don't
Nope.
think so. I think we're ready for next topic.
Let's close with the best topic ever. What are your thoughts on the YouTube gaming community and what can we do to make it better and fix the negative things?
You want my opinion on this?
Anybody can go, and I know there's been some drama going down with me and Jazz lately involving other people. We're not going to name any names. We're not going to reference any specific situations, but just in general.
Okay. So the YouTube gaming community. So there's two ways people can be. They can do it because they love it, and I feel like all four of us just do it because we enjoy it. But then there's the other kind that are just straight money whores, earning for the fame or for the somewhat popularity and the money. But you cannot tell me that between the four of us, in the back of our minds somewhere, there is not, this is fun to do, I really enjoy doing this, but I can also make a little bit of money off of this, if I continue at it, as a hobby or whatever. So
Exactly.
that's why I consider the whole YouTube community to be money whores. You know, I don't want that to go like, oh, Woody's gamer tag's not a money whore. I mean, that you understand what I'm saying.
I get,
Hopefully.
yeah. I mean, it's I'm partnered and I make no money basically. I make less than an hour. Last month I made less money than if I had worked an hour of minimum wage. So I realized that like I can, and you guys sure realize this too. I'm sure it's like when you're plodding away making your videos, you're thinking if this could someday be my job to sit here and play Call of Duty and talk about Call of Duty related topics and gaming topics and to do 3-bar exploits, it's like that can be motivation to do it sometimes. Like there's some days when I've not wanted to upload a video. I felt lazy and I didn't feel like doing a commentary. But I'm like, you know what? If I can gain 2 subscribers off doing this commentary, it's worth it because I'm getting one step closer to my goal of this being my job. Because I don't do YouTube for it to be my job, but I'd be lying if I told you that I don't strive for it to be my job in the future if I were able to get to that level as a channel. And I'm sure you guys feel kind of the same way. Now, what the problem is people who say, hey, all these big YouTubers, they're making $4 million a year, which they're not, off of YouTube. I'm going to go buy a PVR and make a bunch of money, and then they just put no heart into their content, no effort into their content, and expect a paycheck. Those kind of
Or they
people
try to
are...
get a free ride out of it. Like
Right,
they try
those
to
are
get
the kinds of
everyone to
people...
carry them to
Yeah, those are the kinds of people
popularity.
that, are messing up the community. But if we're talking about money in general, which it appears that we are right now, and there's certainly other parts of the community we could discuss that don't relate to money as much, but those are the kind of people who are in it for the money. I think there's a difference between being in it for the money and just accepting money as one of the benefits.
I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
there's a difference altogether in that if it's a job, it's a job. This is what you do for money. You put out a video, whether it's your best video or whether it's your worst video. If it's not your best video, you're not going to get paid as much for it because less people are going to watch it. If you can't title it appropriately, or if you can't put something on the screen that people want to either see and or hear, you're just not going to get as much for it. I think that the term money whore is a terrible term, kind of like the term fanboy, in that if you're a money whore, it means you're only doing it for the money. Not unlike somebody I'm kind of on the fence about at the moment. But if you're doing something because that's what your channel does, like re-uploading a video, whether you put any heart into it or not, if that's something you do, then that's something you do, and maybe you don't have to put as much effort into it. I know that I've seen that T. Martin gets a lot of flack for the uploading the terrible atrocity for the latest DLC. And the thing is, it is his job. So at first, I was kind of mad that I didn't get a commentary for all of the videos that he uploaded. I only got like a minute's worth of commentary. That made me mad. But I did want to see the maps, and that's basically what he was giving me was, hey, this is what you want to see. This is why you're at my channel. I can provide this to you. I just can't talk for 5 minutes for each of these videos. And you're going to have to deal with just whatever it is that I can give you. And so I was like, you know what? At first, I was actually very mad. And then I came back and said, he showed me what I wanted to see, which is the layout of the maps so that I would have an advantage over everyone else who downloaded this DLC. And I appreciate having access to it beforehand, even if it's not everything I expected or wanted it to be.
Yeah, and like that's why I really didn't like to use the term really money whore. You know what I'm saying? It's just you can't deny that that is in the back of everyone's head.
Well, yeah.
And for the bigger
Well,
YouTubers, I just feel. I mean, I don't really want to go into this, but I just feel that they know all they have to do is put up a really crappy, not even a crappy commentary, but they can put up a gameplay, talk about something completely random, and they can make a pretty decent amount of money on it. And with us four, especially, you know, for every video that we put out, we want it to be the best that it could possibly be.
Yeah.
And because we're especially now, there's so many gaming channels out there, so everything that we put out needs to be the best that it can be, so we stand out and not just
Yeah.
just within the crowd. We
I
want to
want
stand
to I
out.
want to avoid talking about kind of what we talked about last week, which is the whole or maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, but the whole re-uploading thing because we've kind of covered that. But I mean, in general, you know, what I'm more getting at is like, did you buy your PVR? Like, all of you can answer this, well, except for Jazz. Well, Jazz can too when he bought his editing software or whatever. But when you guys bought your Elgato, did you buy it saying, I want to entertain people and I want to make videos and I want to, build up an audience and I want to talk about gaming and I want to do this as a passion of mine? Or did you buy it saying, I hope I buy this and get a bunch of subs and then I can make a bunch of money? That's basically what the core argument is. And I think if somebody falls into that latter category, you can easily call them a money whore. I think it's perfectly valid.
For me, I do YouTube. I started YouTube, and I consider myself pretty new to the YouTube scene and community. But I did it just because I love gaming. I've been doing it for the majority of my life, and I saw YouTube as an outlet for me to take a passion of mine and express my views, opinions, and just share content that I create with the world essentially. And so I do it for fun. If I was able to make enough money to sustain a nice living and make it my job, I think that would be great. It'd be a dream of mine because I would love to have something to do with gaming to be my job.
I think
And
I'm a reformed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, I was just going to say one last thing. As far as the community goes, one thing I've noticed is that so you got all these big YouTubers who have been doing it for I don't even know how many years. I tend to try not to follow too many of those guys, but you got these guys and they were the first ones who do it. So you have all these other people, all their followers, who say, "Look, he's making money. He's making good money just doing YouTube videos. I can do that." And the barrier of entry is very easy. So the community has become very saturated with those type of people. And I think a lot of times us are great examples that we just get lost in that because, I truly believe that we're all here for the passion of gaming, for enjoying what we do. And we just kind of get washed in the mix of all these, you can call them tryhards as far as the YouTube community goes. So it's kind of some of
Actually,
my
that's
thoughts.
why I'm here, because I was a tryhard. I was a money whore. I looked at Woody's gamer tag and I saw a video on exposing how much money it was he could be making. Listen to him talk about leaving a Fortune 500 company and supporting his family with a child that has medical needs. And I look at what he's able to accomplish and build it up from a part-time job in something that he enjoyed doing and justifying his gaming habits. And so I look at this and say, you know what? I can do this too, because I can run my mouth as good as anybody else can run their mouth, and I can enjoy myself while doing it. Maybe, hopefully, I hope I can get it figured out. Now that I'm here, I'm still not making any money about a year later. I don't care. I don't care that I'm not. Well, it'd be nice to make money, but that's not even why I'm here anymore. I'm here because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the interactions that I have as a viewer to YouTubers. I enjoy the interaction I have as a YouTube content creator to other viewers, to other content creators, and I enjoy being able to have the equipment and the desire and the inside information that I do have so that I can share it on this podcast as well as with you guys on Twitter and other places. Now that I'm here, I enjoy it for what it is, and that's the community of it. And I think that the YouTube gaming community builds games and they
Yes.
grow games
Look at
into what they
Minecraft.
are, which is where we're supposed to be going with this conversation. And yes, Minecraft is an excellent
Yeah.
addition of, or a representation of what it is that the YouTube community can do. Because if I ever want, the only reason I even knew about YouTube is because I was playing and somebody said, "Oh, did you know I got that tip from," and named the YouTuber. So I went to that YouTuber's channel, started with him, and then I branched out from there for people who could also put out content that was good enough for me to watch and give me tips and tricks. And then it became more about just everything else in the community. So regardless of where you started and why you were here initially, I think that your what it is that you put in should represent who you are and what it is that you're trying to do to better the community of YouTube as a whole, the gaming community as a whole, and your individual subscribers makes you either a good person to watch, a good content creator to watch, or a bad one.
Yeah, there's two sides of the community. There's the good side and the bad side. I mean, I get about one message per week from someone who is subscribed to me, like an Xbox message, and they say, "Hey, I saw your videos" or whatever, and I'm like, "Okay." It's like those are the kind of, like, that's what I've enjoyed most. Like, I kind of just started it because I'm like, "Hey, these people do this, and I can do it too." The kind of what you were saying, Whackmed, like, they don't do anything special that I couldn't see myself doing. That's kind of why I started. And now I mean, I enjoy interacting with other YouTubers, like, doing this podcast and stuff like that. And, I enjoy interacting with subscribers and people who watch my videos, like Whackmed, when you play with people who are on your live stream and stuff like that. So situations like that, where people, interact with you because they know who you are and they've seen you. That's the good side. The bad side is that, let's be honest, we're all trying to we're all trying to get to the top. We're all trying to be the next Woody's Gamertag, the next PewDiePie, the next Syndicate, whoever you will choose to be. And some people, like us, I consider all of us to be, we're trying to do it the right way and just work our way up and put out good content. But some people just try to run over everybody else and backstab their way to the top. And, they're that's the kind of people that hurt the community. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who try to do that. So it's kind of twofold. There's a good side and a bad side.
Yep. Like I said, like kind of like what you said, this community has brought a lot of friendships and like community as a whole to me. Like I remember it was probably about a year ago now that I'm at Oyster actually, and the craziest thing is how we met. We met on the Call of Duty forums, and I was like looking for someone to try to record for me. And it turns out he lives like 20 minutes down the street from me, and he's turned out to be one of my better friends. I can talk, and I just feel like the community's better because it's not they don't care where you came from or what you look like or whatever. It's more about how you it's more about how you act and how you present yourself to everybody, and I just enjoy that about the community instead of um you know instead of
Yeah.
like whatever.
I mean, a lot of friends you make online, and lots of, like, the older generation doesn't understand this, but I'm sure, I mean, Whackmet, Game Site, or Bonfire, I always want to call you Game Site because that's your channel name, but Whackmet and Bonfire, I mean, some of your online friends that you met playing Xbox or whatever, you talk to them more than your real life friends a lot of the time, just because it's easier to talk to them a lot of the time, and, it's a lot of time you can forge friendships with people like that more than you can, I did not call you old. But
Yeah, you did, and you're absolutely right. I actually played. I've been sick, so I've been playing a lot of Xbox lately. I get tired of playing specific games, but I played Borderlands for a couple hours this afternoon with Monkey, and I haven't talked to that guy in I don't know a couple of months. We really haven't conversed much since Modern Warfare 3 went old, and just being able to sit down and talk to him and catch up, it was terrific, and that's like. It's a big part of why I still game is because of the people that I have surrounded myself with whenever I push the little button in the middle of my Xbox.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Jazz, do you have something to say?
No, it's good. You go.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, as far as the community aspect goes, I agree with you, Oyster, that there are definitely the good and the bad. For me personally, I haven't seen too much of the bad. Again, I'm a smaller channel, but I've really enjoyed just the support I've gotten from fellow YouTubers and just making those relationships. I mean, you guys are a great example, just coming on, being part of this great podcast, and some other people that I've met, just gaming with. It's really fun, and I really enjoy that aspect of the community. I think we need more of it. I think we all need to support each other on YouTube, even the bigger channels. I think they should throw some support out. I'm not talking about like shout outs or anything like that, but just like comment more and just interact more and just make it feel more like a community, even though it is a business, because I think that's how you got there, is by being a community, interacting with your subscribers. And if you continue to have that as your core principle, I think that says more than words can.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I understand that, if you're Woody's Gamertag or whoever and you're getting, thousands and thousands of comments on every video, you're not going to respond to every one, which is why I think all of us, we try to respond to all of our comments we get while we still can. But it's sometimes I do feel like when I'm watching some bigger YouTubers and I leave a comment that I know will just get bumped down to page number 7 in the next 10 minutes, You know, I feel like sometimes it's easy to feel like you're just another number, like you're just another view number, you're just another subscriber number, and you don't really feel connected. Now, the good YouTubers are the ones that make you feel connected to them without having to, respond to comments, through their commentary or whatever. With lots of people, you just feel like, it's like going to see a band play live. Like, they're playing and you're watching, but that's it. There's no connection.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that connection is very important because you wouldn't be in your position if it weren't for them. And I think you have to
Right.
keep that in perspective.
Exactly.
So,
Okay. Well,
We can talk about the bad in the community some more. I'm always down for that.
you could take it.
That's because
Give
you've
me something
always
to
got a
talk-
rant to throw down.
Dude, I just, I'm sure you guys get it too, but, obviously you have to have a thick skin to be in YouTube, because you're gonna get the people calling you gay. You're gonna get the people saying that you should go kill yourself. You're gonna get the people saying that you make terrible videos when you check their channel and they have no videos and no subscribers.
Oyster.
And it's just,
And
No, I have
something.
not had any of those three things happen to me.
Shut up.
Tactical Oyster, what kind of videos
Shut
do you
up.
make?
Yes, you have.
Oyster. Okay.
Do I
I
need
just
to bring
tell
out
you
do I need
something.
to take a Gyazo of the guy who left the comment on your Battlefield video and post it in the
Didn't say I was
description?
gay.
Do you
No,
want
said
me to?
Battlefield ring a
Die.
bell?
Okay.
It was actually a very polite argument, in my opinion.
He said that was the worst COD fanboy video he's seen on the internet in some time.
But he was polite about it. I mean,
Whatever.
he didn't cuss
It's
me
like
out. He
talking
didn't
to a
try to break
wall.
me off a
Hey.
new one.
You know what? The glass is always half full in Whackman's world.
Well, the
Just
thing is this: if you have lowered yourself to just cuss somebody out, then you're a terrible person. If you want to
I'm a terrible
list
person.
what your complaints are and back them up with a factual statement behind them, then we're having an intellectual conversation, and I can respect that you disagree with me, but that you have a point that you would like to make. I don't always have the right opinion. Sometimes I even get my facts wrong here or there. But if you're going to call me out and list your reasons why you're calling me out, then sometimes that needs to happen. It's what makes you better as a person, is being able to take constructive criticism.
I agree, but then there's the times that you get into an argument on Xbox with the leader of a sniping clan, and he sends his whole clan to dislike all of your videos, and you end up with 12 dislikes on your last 5 videos. That happens too. There's 2 parts of it.
Send them to me. I'll take the dislikes. I love them.
You thrive off the dislikes.
Anyway,
I
does.
think all of you people that spend more time sniping than actually playing the game are silly.
dang.
Everybody
Well,
pays their
that's
$60, Whackman. If they want to
We-
pay their $60 and run around and spin around in circles and jump off the map, they can. It's their right.
Talk about
Yeah,
me here. You're
And in
being-
my free-to-play universe, you don't get a sniper rifle.
You have to
Dang.
pay money for that.
You have to pay money for that sniper rifle.
You get the SVU.
While I get the sniper rifle, can I get an aimbot too while I'm at it? Can I pay for that?
Yeah, can you pay for an aimbot and wall hacks in the free-to-play Backman world?
Yeah. Anyway, Oyster, I was just gonna tell you that before I leave, because I'm leaving right now, unfortunately, that you're gay, and yeah.
Oh God, chat is a safe place.
Oh, it's okay. He's got to go have a date with his sister.
Oh,
Get it right. It's my cousin, man.
Oh, dude.
My cousin.
Are you a gypsy?
No, I'm
what's happening?
My boy.
All right.
I'm from
Sorry,
West
sorry.
Virginia. Get it.
You guys want to hear a
Point.
good joke about West Virginia? Did you know the
Sure.
toothbrush was invented in West Virginia? You wanna-
If it was invented anywhere else, they'd have called it the teeth brush.
Dang
too.
it! I thought I was
Get
clever.
on.
The teeth
Me
brush.
and Bonfire heard these jokes in elementary school. You're gonna have to step up to our level.
Well,
Because we're old
Anyway.
farts.
I could step it up,
That's
but
right.
it wouldn't be safe for TV.
Basically, the chat's not a safe
TV.
place anymore. Walkmad's old, Bonfire's
Yeah.
dumb, and Oyster is a
Whoa.
gay lover. Anyway, peace
I
out.
picked one commentary.
Whoa.
There goes Jazz. He's going out with style.
Dang, talk about
Or
I think
without
we- I
style.
think we need to adjust. We need to say Whackman's a fanboy. Bonfire. I don't even know what Bonfire, because Bonfire hasn't put himself out there to do. Bonfire's a rager when he plays
I'm
Call
back.
of Duty. And
There is a different side of Bonfire when you play Call of Duty. With
I
him.
know. I told you the other day when we were playing, and you kept raging and like it's going off, and I'm like, you sound in your videos, you just sound kind of reserved and relaxed, and kind of like you're a lover, not a fighter. Is what I said. And then you come on Call of Duty, and you just like you want to cut someone's throat because they killed you with they spammed you with an SVU.
Yeah, one of Bonfire's first videos that I watched, this guy killed him like 2 times over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he got me. He got the SMG. He won that gun battle." I'm like, "Not in my world, dude. In my world, that guy gets ripped apart. You suck. Why are you cramping or crouching behind a corner? Get off your belly and do something. Quit
In my
camping."
world, it was the lag. It was the lag.
Yeah.
There's no way he's better than me. It's not possible. I'm the best.
And in Bonfire's world, it's that way too, just not in his video. Because in his video, it's, "Oh, well, I guess it's fair for him to win this time."
Exactly.
Some of the things I say off camera don't need to be on camera. We'll just put it that way.
I will agree to that.
That's true of everyone. Unless you're a Microsoft executive, in which case you can just say whatever you want, whenever you want.
If you don't want to play online,
And then go get a
you
new
can
job
buy
somewhere
the
else. It's all
Xbox 360. That's what you can do. So I'm Don Matrick. Okay, do we need who has another topic? You want to dive into fantasy football before we wrap it up? Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Quarterback, who's your pick?
I'm not ready. Let's not do it. I thought it through. Oh no. Oh.
See, I don't know any of the draft, the new draft, so I don't think there's any good quarterbacks, anyways. But quarterback,
I don't even. Dang it! This is a fail. Somebody just pick a player and we'll ridicule them. Tim Tebow.
oh my!
I will save us. Let's talk about Tim Tebow.
Pick a player and we will ridicule.
Let's talk about Aaron Hernandez.
Oh,
He was
he's
killer
a real
last year on
life
my
hater.
fantasy
Check
team.
out
He's not
Oyster.
gonna be killer this year.
I saw a meme earlier today that said Aaron Hernandez should have hit all the evidence in the Cowboys end zone because nobody ever goes there.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I know. I thought it was a good one.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty funny.
You guys want to give your thoughts on the whole Aaron Hernandez situation in general, maybe?
Stupid guy.
WTF? What the hell?
If you can't get away with a murder, then you're just dumb.
Are you speaking from experience?
I'm speaking from just pay attention to what you're doing and don't text. The guy did everything but tweet. Fitna kill a bro. I mean, that's the only thing he didn't do.
I think it's funny that we started out on the surface with he might be involved in this in some way to now he's the prime murder suspect in like 7 cases. Like, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but more and more different incidents from his past kept coming out in situations that he might have been involved in, you know. And
That's what happens.
right, it's like, oh, now there's a 2010 shooting in Boston that he's being investigated in. Now there's a 2012 shooting he's being investigated in. Now there was a fight in a bar in 2007 that Tim Tebow broke up that he was involved in. So, like, it started out on the surface as like, okay, he probably was, like, driving by when the shooting happened. There's no way he could have possibly killed someone. He's an NFL player, and now he's a suspect in, like, 8 different murders. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they got him, and then they're like, we're going to pick every single thing ever on you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's a Florida Gator. He deserves it. Well, maybe it's not that he deserves it, but he's a Gator. What do you expect?
Are you a Florida State fan?
Absolutely, dude. I live
Dude,
right
your
here
team
by
is
Cal.
full of thugs. Get out of here.
Yeah, we recruit him out of Gainesville. Where do you think we get him from?
Okay, Ahmed, you'll never guess what ACC fan I'm a team of. I'll let you try, but you won't guess. Think of where I live. Okay, no, not Maryland. You keep guessing. It'll be the last one you guess. Just keep going. Rattle them off, and I'll stop you.
Syracuse.
Nope.
You're a basketball guy. I thought for sure you'd pick Syracuse.
Nope. Keep going. Let's hear it. It's in the. It's one of the original teams. Nope. But close geographically.
You can't hit me there. That's history that I don't know. It's close geographically. You live on the East Coast, dude. That's the ACC.
Okay, no, close geographically to NC State.
I don't know. What do you got?
NC
NC State. You got NC State.
Wake
you got
Forest.
North Carolina. Really?
Wake Forest.
Oh, yeah.
Both of my parents went to Wake Forest, and all I can say is that every time we play Florida State, we just sit back and look at the thuggery and we laugh. Okay, it's
I can look at the
ridiculous.
pounding that you're receiving and you laugh.
I'll pull up the
Because if you
stats,
didn't
dude.
laugh, you'd have to cry.
We've beat you like 3 out of the last 6 years. I'll pull out the stats right now if I can find them. Bondfire, you're on the West Coast. Who do you like? What team do you got?
College?
Oregon.
College, pro, anybody.
He's an Oregon guy.
Oh, Ducks. Yeah, Ducks.
Are you a bandwagon Oregon fan? Like Oregon's good now. I'm gonna go for them, or is there some connection? Or just
No, I almost went to the University of Oregon.
oh,
Like I like applied and everything, got in, and then I changed my mind at the last second, financially.
all right. So there's some merit there. You're not a bandwagoner completely.
No.
What about pro?
Football pro? Ugh.
I'm guessing Seahawks.
No, actually, even though I think they're gonna be a pretty good team this upcoming
The
season.
Raiders. He's a Raider.
Raiders? Oh my God, no. Actually, I've never really been big on the NFL. My mom would kill me for it. But I'd have to say if I had to pick a team, it'd be Houston.
Houston.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's
I
why.
like some of their players. I like some of their players on the team. I like definitely like.
Because of that commercial where Andre Peterson comes up out of the pool and he wraps the towel around his head and the husband looks over and the wife is supposed to be Andre Peterson. She's, you're thinking of Andre Peterson again, aren't you?
No, that is funny, but
commercial
No.
talk.
Funny commercial.
Black,
It's
man.
commercial talk. Woohoo!
you always got to get it in there. But
It's a joke now. I'm gonna let it run.
I also like
gonna-
JJ Watt. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, that guy's a beast.
I saw a picture of him standing next to like the 7'6".
Yao Ming.
Yes, Yao Ming.
Oh really? That was a
And-
guess, but
Yeah, you nailed it. But he looks like a little baby compared to that guy. It's ridiculous. And JJ Watt's a beast.
you guys follow any other sports or just football mainly?
NBA, that's my sport.
It is really okay. Let's
Yeah.
get something
Really?
going. Let's get something going here, dude. I'm all about the NBA.
I love the NBA.
I'm a Charlotte Bobcats fan.
Lost.
Really?
Really? Yes.
Oh.
I went to one of the only 2 Bobcats playoff games ever hosted in the city of Charlotte. Yeah,
Wow.
it's painful.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Who did you guys take in the draft?
This year we went with Cody Zeller instead of. We could have gone with Nerlens Noel. We could have gone with Alex Lynn, who I wanted. But no, we're going to go with Cody Zeller, projected to be about 11th, and we take him 4th. And
You
that's
know what I really don't understand about the NBA is why their draft is so close to the end of their season.
That's a good point. I was thinking about that.
I never thought
I
about
don't
that
understand
really.
because in football you have, was it 2 months after the season you have the combine, and then 2 months after that you have the draft? Isn't that February and then April?
More or less.
Something in that general
like 2
vicinity.
months in
So
there.
you have time.
Of course, is the off season not longer in the NFL? Because you're going to Super Bowls like basically the first week of February, all the way to preseason games are in August. NBA, you're going from June to October. So it's like 4-month off season for the NBA, and it's like 6 for the NFL. I mean, I don't know.
Could be.
Whackman, are you one of those like old Southern dudes who's like basketball is for thugs or whatever? Or even though you do
No,
support Florida
I just-
State, so I mean.
Well, you
got
got to
the same
remember
thing.
where I live is that there are no pro teams around me at all. Not for any kind of anything. The only thing we have
There's
nearby
lots of
is
pro teams in
State.
Florida in general.
Yeah, but nowhere near me.
What part of
You gotta
Florida? What's the
remember that
closest big
I'm in the
city?
Panhandle.
All right.
Tallahassee is 30 minutes north of me. I actually work there.
All right.
Other than that, Jacksonville's 2.5 hours. There's nothing when you go west till you get to New Orleans. You go south. Tampa Bay is probably the closest, and that's pretty much it. You get to pick between the
Yeah.
Jaguars, who always stink, or Tampa Bay, who always stinks.
You got the Orlando
What?
Magic who stink now that Dwight left.
Well,
Houston's gonna be amazing.
Houston's going to be stacked. Holy crap.
There's no
Yes.
baseball teams nearby. There's no football teams
You
nearby.
got the Florida
There's no-
Marlins who stink.
No, it's the Miami Marlins.
Oh, whatever.
We finally disowned them.
They still
They
stink,
came
no matter what they're
They
called.
came out and proved that you can buy a World Series win, even if you can't afford to keep the players on. You can buy them for 1 year and win. And for that, to me, that really kind of put baseball in a lower perspective in my eyes. And then you have all the doping problems.
Yeah. The only reason that you can do that in baseball, though, is because there's no salary cap, which is completely stupid.
That is stupid.
True.
I can't even begin. Did you guys see the movie Moneyball?
Yeah.
It's
I thought it was a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie. Brad Pitt's fantastic.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a good example. You know, all the teams that are lower on the rungs, you know, because of the fact that there's no salary cap, they're just completely blown away. Oh, and the Marlins also proved, I think, either was it last season that they bought a bunch of players and sucked just as much as usual. So it goes both ways.
True.
One
But
thing I
as
don't
far as
like.
pro teams, there's nothing here for me, and that's one thing that Tallahassee is not a big city. If it weren't for the politicians, it wouldn't exist. And they're only here during term when they're up there making laws that get in the way of everyday life. But there's nothing here as far as sports goes. Luckily, we have a football team that usually does fairly well and goes over 500. We have a baseball team who either always goes to Omaha or very nearly always goes to Omaha.
Only ACC team ever to win the NCAA championship in baseball, Wake Forest. Unless one of them won it this year, which I don't know. I know there are a couple near. I don't think they did, but yeah, suck it.
You're just blowing my mind with this Wake Forest talk.
It's true though. You can look it up. Only team ever baseball.
Hey, Oregon State,
you know
back
what?
to back.
Harvard used to be a really good football team too. I'm just throwing that out there.
True.
Who? Yep, that's it. That's the result that I expected from that comment. Actually,
I don't follow.
Meaning that in the past, lots of teams were good or have been good.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to Google. I'm about to blow your mind with these statistics. Hang on. You keep talking. I'm about to.
I was gonna say one thing that bugs me about the NBA is the fact that it's so catered to the big market teams, and it absolutely drives me nuts. And I'm so tired of it being a players-driven league. Dwight Howard's a great case of that.
I agree.
Chris Paul's a good case of that this offseason, who got, granted, Vinny Del Negro's not the best coach, but I mean, I think he did an okay job there, given what he had. And then Chris Paul gets him fired and goes and whines and says, "I'm not going to be on your team unless you get me a good coach like Doc Rivers." And now they've actually got a really good team this upcoming year, even though I can't stand Blake Griffin. I think he's garbage.
Yeah, he's so overrated.
The thing is I've been watching him since his rookie year and all this crap, and the NBA made him an all-star. He didn't earn it. They made him an all-star with that dunk contest when he, quote-unquote, dunked over the stupid Kia Optima or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, he's an all-star. He's amazing. No, not really. He can't even hit like a 15-foot jumper. All he can do is catch an alley-oop and dunk.
Whackmed, 2006, Wake Forest at Florida State in Tallahassee. Final score, Wake Forest 30, Florida State 0. And we also won the ACC championship that year. Recent years, we've struggled a bit, but 2006 is not that long ago.
All years before that.
That's not that long ago.
Blind squirrel finds a nut. This just breaking.
Last year, Florida State won. 2011, Wake won. All right. 2006, obviously, we destroyed you. No chance. All right. Just don't even worry about that. 2010.
Who was our quarterback in 06?
2010, Florida State won. I don't know. Ours was Riley Skinner. You should know that. You should know who your quarterback was. Dude. You should know who your quarterback was. Shame.
Put it down for YouTube.
Who can forget the great 2008 in Tallahassee, the historic 12-3 victory over number 24th ranked Florida State? Who can forget that? I know you want to, Whackman, but you can't.
No, I know one thing is that Florida State gets way too generous of rankings, and if you want to beat Florida State, all you have to do is say, Florida State's going to blow them out. If you say that, Florida State will lose badly.
The only reason Florida State's good is because every athletic kid in Florida gets recruited there, basically.
Chicks.
That's why whenever Wake plays Florida State, Wake either wins narrowly or Florida State wins by a blowout. It's never a Wake blowout or a Florida State narrow win, because what happens is either Wake narrowly escapes by outworking or outsmarting them, or Florida State gives it to a fast 6'6" running back, and he's way faster than everybody else, and he just runs past them.
So here's how Florida State recruiting works. We bring you down in the spring or the summer when the girls are wearing the least amount that they can wear, because up in Wake Forest, they're still covered up. And down here in Florida State Country, there are plenty of sites to see if that's something that you're looking for. The college has the Tennessee Strip is where all the bars are. It's directly across from the campus, and you go there in the evening, and you can find all manner of scantily clad ladies. And
You sound like you
they
know a
put
lot about
on.
this subject.
I work on an ambulance. I used to work night shift, and we have a post that's right between the college and the Tennessee Strip. We just that's where we sat, just waiting for somebody to fall out into traffic for some terrible tragedy to happen, because all these drunk people right next to the road's just a recipe for disaster. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that help recruiting that are put on the football team doesn't have to say, please wear short shorts. They're there.
It just happens.
It just happens. And if you go to, it's like I see our recruiting tactics and I say it's no wonder that Maryland always stinks. They beat
Yeah.
us recently too.
Well, are we about ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, but we're gonna have to revive sports talk in the future, because that was pretty easy to do.
Yeah, we were off to a rough start until I said let's criticize Tim Tebow, and then things just picked up. So
Funny.
Tim, you're there for a reason. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Wait a minute, before you leave that, is he signed with anybody yet?
Yeah, he picked up by the Patriots. Got
Pretty
traded.
good deal.
As a quarterback, or is it another position?
Who knows?
Whatever they want to use him for.
See, that's the one thing that has totally. Maybe we shouldn't go into Tebow talk, because it's another 30 minutes for you. I'm sure you've got some hate for him, but I think he limited himself too much whenever he said, "I'm only going to be a quarterback."
I agree, but I can
Make a
see where he's
great
coming
tight end.
from.
Yeah. So
Wanna
that's
bring us
3-bar
up? Yeah.
exploits number 7, and we had Jazz with us tonight. We have Bondfire, Oyster, and Whackmed as always. Remember to go check out Strictly Business Gaming for all of your gaming desires and needs. They have a tournament going on. You need to register for that as soon as you can. They are not doing partial teams. You will have to do a full team. They run a pretty good Twitter campaign. If you do follow Twitter, check them out there. And as always, drop likes, favorites, subscribes, and leave your topics in the chat below. Thanks. Have a great day.